Hi, everyone. I hope you had a good weekend. I'm a little bit behind on a lot of things at the moment, and so I apologize for that, but I'm going to try to get myself caught up as soon as I can. In particular, I want to be focused on getting you some feedback on your prospectuses for your final project because I want to make sure that we're moving forward on that. But I want to just take a couple of minutes here to talk about this week. This week, I would like to focus on the role of music in various storytelling, I guess, traditions, in particular theatrical traditions. So I have two forums for this week, and so I've arranged Moodle so that we've got links to things I'd like you to take a look at, and then the forum follows it that relate to that particular link. So first of all, I want you to take a look at this Medium article that is about theatrical performances from around the world. It looks like, oops, sorry about that. We have an unavailable video here, so I guess just disregard that. But it does include some videos to show you what some of these traditions look like. And then we have the forum, where I'd like you to look at these videos from some of them are the same traditions as the ones discussed in the article. Some of them are different ones. But ultimately, and it's a fairly broad question that I'm posing, but what does music add to live storytelling, or we could say theater? Why not simply have the actions on stage and then spoken words so that would be maybe a little bit more realistic? Having music in theater or storytelling is kind of an unnatural thing, right? Because it's when we talk to each other, we don't just break into song. So I want you to think a little bit about what is the role of music within a theatrical performance. And then I want to look at a more contemporary version of this, which is music used in Bollywood. Bollywood is the film industry in Bombay or Mumbai in India. And it, in fact, by many measures, is a bigger industry than Hollywood, in fact. But Bollywood movies, generally speaking, and they do vary, but very frequently will incorporate music in a way that isn't really typical in a Hollywood movie unless it's explicitly a musical. Music is incorporated more commonly in a Bollywood musical. So I have a link here to an article that just sort of talks a little bit about Bollywood. They're trying to get you to sign up for dance lessons, so just kind of ignore that. But it does give us sort of a summary of what Bollywood music and dance is about. And then I've given you just for YouTube of a Bollywood film. And in the forum, I mentioned that there are 3 segments of it that I'd like you to look at, 3 different uses of music. But then I also have an article on diegetic and non-diegetic sound in film. These are kind of big, obnoxious kind of words, but diegetic means that it's the music or the sounds are things that the characters hear. Non-diegetic means that there's music or sound that only the audience is hearing. So it's not meant to be part of the story necessarily. Babul, the film that I'm asking you to watch, incorporates various different forms of diegetic and non-diegetic music and kind of plays around with it, just like a lot of musicals play around with that idea of diegetic and non-diegetic sound. So just looking briefly at the forum, so read the Bollywood article and then read the article on diegetic and non-diegetic sound, just so you get a sense of what those terms mean. And then I want you to watch 3 segments from the film. I've given you a link to a plot summary, just the IMDb plot summary, in case you don't have time or just don't want to watch the entire film. I encourage you to watch the whole thing. But I'm focused on 3 particular sections of it. So in the clips, that music is used in different ways. In one case, people are just sort of spontaneously burst into song during a party. In another case, there is music that is actually one of the characters, the existing characters, is singing. However, it's not being used diegetically. So that person's voice is being heard over a different character's sort of introspective moment. And then in the third clip, the protagonist is actually experiencing a performance, but the performance is sort of speaking to her interior sort of monologue, her interior emotional state. So these are different types of uses of music in terms of how they relate to the narrative. And so for this forum, I'm just asking you, like, when are the characters aware of the music? When is it just for us, the viewers? And why do you think these particular choices were being made? There could be, an option would be to not have any of this music happening at all. Except for the third version, the third clip, the music isn't actually central necessarily to the plot, and yet it does move the plot forward in a way. So just sort of ponder that idea after you've watched those clips and respond to that. So we've got 2 forums for this week. And you should also be working on, start working on the final project a little bit more. But you don't have to dig in too much, because I want to make sure that I've gone through the prospecti, and given you just like a little bit of feedback. And then hopefully next week, I will do maybe a little bit of a longer video sort of talking through the research process and what I'm sort of expecting you to do as you create that final project. All right, I think that's all I have for you. You can always email me with questions, and have a good week.